What is up, everybody? Welcome for the first time or back to another DLJ Works video. We got an interesting topic today, man. I was listening to a coding phase video. Really like Joe Santos's channel. You know, he's doing the groundwork still, even though he's very much so established after all these years, but he's still working and performing as he's still in the beginning stages. That hunger has never left Joe Santos. So shout outs to Coding Phase and everything else. But he was talking and made a video about are portfolios still necessary? And his long story short with him, the answer is yes, they are. But I'm gonna give you a different take in this video because instead of giving you just platitudes talking about, oh, it just depends. Let's break that down. Let's actually explore and examine what it means by it just depends. Okay. Portfolios are a case-by-case basis depending on what part of the industry, the web design development industry sector that you're operating in. If you're just operating as an independent person and you're just going after freelance clients, a lot of them, unless you're completely unknown, you have no reputation. Yes, a portfolio may very much so be necessary. Somebody could probably find your work and like, I want that guy to work for me or whatnot. That could possibly happen. Or you could be in my position and you don't have to have a portfolio at all. I haven't had a portfolio in years, and I think I've said this boldly on other parts of my videos. And it's my reputation, it's my online reputation, and that's the other side of this that I'm going to give you. Are portfolios still necessary? So let's go without further ado. Let's go ahead and let's dive right into this. A portfolio is cool. It's still cool, but here's what's even better. So if you've been in this game like I have since 2011, when I first started out in web design, when I first got into this, I took on projects for free to get my skill level up. All right. And I'm a teacher right now. And in the world of education, there's many different ways that we get instructed on how we should actually teach the students. And one way is through project-based learning, where you give the students a project and you kind of let them work backwards. The project dictates the skills that the students will need to learn. That's how I see web design and development. Each and every project that you take on designates how much HTML you need to know, how much CSS you need to know, how much JavaScript do you need to know, how much PHP, all these things. The project will determine exactly what you need to gain and level up in order to complete the goals or deadlines within that project. So that's the relevance of even taking on projects. You know, Joe talked about this in his video. He actually mentioned that people do these little petty JavaScript projects with the matching games and the snake games or whatever the case may be. And nobody really cares about that. But you still need to do those projects if you're just now learning JavaScript so you can actually understand the depth and some of the conventions and the syntax and all these things to get introduced to how to really use variables and build good functions and global variables and all these other things. So you need to do those simple projects, but they're not meant to be displayed for the companies. They're not meant to show off to whatever company you're going to. It could be laughable to have a snake game in your portfolio or your project set that you want to show if you're trying to go for a job at Netflix. That's stupid. All right. But if you really want to get Netflix's attention, you'll do better by building a reputation, by being able to do things that nobody else is able to do, or find a specific problem that Netflix is having by researching their company and solving it for them. Actually, we'll talk about that more when we get to that bullet point. And we're going to look at my DLJ Works LinkedIn profile. We're gonna look at all that. So word of mouth though, that's you doing things that is beyond a human's comprehension when it comes to this field, and you're able to provide great customer service to them. You have to learn customer service, you have to learn sales, you have to be able to deliver to the people that you're working for. All right, that's how you start developing word of mouth. I haven't had to sit up here and fish for a web design project and I'm not bragging when I say this, man. People just call me and said like, hey, I heard you do website. That's all I get. And then even in the past, like, man, I've only done this, like, it's been some years that I've done this, but in the past few years, I've actually tried to volunteer to get people to look at my portfolio site, and they just, no, we don't need to look at it. We know you good. We know you good. So this is no cap. All right. As the young kids say, I'm not capping when I say this. So you build a strong word of mouth. You build a strong network by just doing projects for free. Be of service to people because you're getting your skill level up. That word of mouth is going to start developing and you're going to start building a good reputation. You need to have a well put together LinkedIn profile. All right. Here's mine. I'm going to show you on here. I just have writer, web designer. It was specific. I did try to niche it down to say like streaming video platform configurator or something like that, web designer. But I was just like, let me just kind of be broad right now, web designer, writer, be not tied to anything and just let my content speak for itself. This could actually be better. I can actually do more than just write down. Here it talks about writing web design. I'm actually going to design this to be more business-like, to be more online business-like, where I actually have content in here that actually links to maybe an email list or something. Start collecting email lists based on the content that I'm putting out on LinkedIn. But some of the things I have my YouTube channel featured. That now people may not have a lot of time to go and look at my YouTube channel, which is fine. My experience in detail. But you know what the most important section is here on my my LinkedIn profile? The skills list that's right here. So you want to be able to take your LinkedIn assessments where you see right here, CSS Pass LinkedIn skill assessment, and I have 3 endorsements for that. I have this here, and I also have another one. So I don't know, it kind of duplicated itself here, but I think I passed the LinkedIn skill assessment for HTML and CSS. So when you have passed these LinkedIn tests, you get other people, you get recruiters more looking at your profile and scooping you out. I can't tell you how this is just off the skills assessment alone has drawn the attention of people who have premium subscriptions to LinkedIn looking for web designers and whatever the case may be, web developers. So just off of the strength of that, if you take that, if you're really good at JavaScript, whatever you're good at in the coding space, take those skills assessments, because all they're going to do is just going to validate what you know and what you're good at. And then you can just have the alley-oop. You got an alley-oop with that coming down here to the LinkedIn recommendations or text endorsements by other people. So these are people that I've actually worked with. And I was like, you know what? Don't pay me. Just give me a LinkedIn recommendation. Write a few sentences. Whatever you can, paragraphs, and all of these. Like this young lady, I actually did, a consultation with to kind of, she was looking for some, coaching and trying to figure out the best ways to get into this field in addition to some of the boot camp classes that she was taking. So I did that. This was some Vimeo TT work that I actually did in terms of configuration, and a guy actually was, worked with or whatnot and working with in terms of an app, building an app or whatever the case may be. So recommendations are really key. So when people begin to see your skill highlighted, the recommendations, the endorsements you're getting by other people, and I'm continuing to build that up. Having those testimonials are going to go a long way on top of your experience, all here and everything else. All right. Then have that combined with the post that you're going to be having. So let me see here. So let's just go to post, and I'm going to go to show all post. Some of these aren't really, they're just repost or whatnot. Some of this was here. I was just showing a little like the animation I made using Animaker. All right. To try to promote that. But whatever you post, I had a whole bunch of time where I actually posted articles. I posted little short video clips of some of the web design stuff I was doing. I have a lot of that stuff that I just have posted here. This was something I actually did, for my wife and everything else. When I actually built the little PhD website for my wife or whatnot, which is still active at this point in time. So all I did was just use Google Sites just to put something quickly together for her. All right. And have this up. So you want to start building content. You want to start really using LinkedIn. I'm still not even using LinkedIn to its full capacity, but it has drawn and gotten me several client attention, employment inquiries. And mind you, I wasn't searching out. This wasn't me seeking out for this at all. This is just me putting out content and putting in work to set myself up to where I attract people more to me than rather me having to put so much work going out there and applying to other jobs. And I'm still teaching right now, and I still got all this content stuff and other things I got going on. So I'm not desperate for anything. So put yourself in a position where you're not desperate. You know, if you're coding and you're just a beginner, get another job and just you gonna have to do this on the side. Even as I'm talking to you and making this video, I have a day job, and then in the evening when there's nobody home and it's just me, this is the opportunity for me to record and put content out to continue to serve people through my DLJ Works channel, as well as other things, and doing more projects that I have going on in addition to this. But this is that time to go ahead and get that taken care of. All right, let's step away from talking about LinkedIn for a second. GitHub. I'm gonna be honest, I can't speak much on GitHub because I've never had a GitHub account. I've never been this super complex programmer or anything like that. I know you can have a GitHub even if you know CSS, if you are doing some things with like SAS and Less and all that other stuff. Great, have a GitHub and show some cool projects that you're doing. Wherever repositories and projects that people can contribute to. But this is going to depend on a company. Certain companies ask for a GitHub page so they can actually see publicly what are you involved in, what other projects have you contributed to, what other projects that you have created yourself that other people are contributing to, and so on and so forth. So that really is going to depend on the company. But with that being said, let's look at the next bullet point. Researching a company and finding what they want. Every company is going to be different. Really, with companies, you have to take it on a case-by-case basis. Some people are going to be looking for, the traditional portfolio set, but others, they're not going to care to look at a portfolio. This is where I divest away from Joe Santos on. Some companies aren't going to care to look at a portfolio. When I actually got hired in 2019, the guy that hired me, he didn't care to look at my portfolio. You know what I showed him? I showed him this YouTube channel right here to show him some of the things that I was talking about, showing that how I was teaching. I showed some clips. I showed how I was actually discussing things. And this channel didn't work against me. It worked for me. It was showing my expertise. It was showing what I was knowledgeable about. I was able to speak clearly on these topics, and I was able to put my money where my mouth is. When he hired me, I gave him good, solid work and quality by managing his website, doing customer service. Everything that he saw on this YouTube channel and my skill set, communicative-wise and technical-wise, all came to fruition and to reality when I got that job. I tell y'all all the time on this YouTube channel, here is the thing that I preach the most is document, document, document. Get you I'm going to leave the link. This is going to be an affiliate link, but I endorse them because I've been using this system since 2018. It is ScreenPal. It used to be Screencast-O-Matic. Paid a little $18 a month, whatever the pricing is for this. I don't even know how much this costs now. At the time when I got it, was $18 a year. I think that's what I still pay. But if you decide to pay for this annually, let me see here. You can get the Solo Premiere, which I think this went up a lot. All right, so let's see here. Is it education? Does it go down some? All right, so if you're doing business, personal, all right, so I'm sorry, they went up quite a bit now. So they went up quite a bit. But you'll pay for $72 a year. I think it can even be cheaper than that. So I'm not really sure. Let me see here. All right, look. My plan price is still $18. I guess I'm grandfathered in. I don't know how it's supposed to be working right now. I have the Solo Deluxe. Let me see here. Let me see. I don't really want to take a lot of time on this, but I just want to make sure. I have the Solo Deluxe, so I guess they're not offering that anymore. So I guess I'm just grandfathered into this whole ScreenPal subscription. So maybe I'm a legacy customer, but even if you can find you something even cheaper, Loom, wherever the case may be, even if you have I don't know if you can see it on my screen, but if you have QuickTime, every desktop, MacBook, Mac Mini has a built-in QuickTime. You can use the screen recording on this. Whatever you need to use, it's just that with ScreenPal, you get editing features and everything else with software and all that other stuff. But wherever you need to use, document your process. If you're learning some new code, All right, you're able to type it. You had a eureka moment, like, oh man, I just discovered something new. Like, how did I do this? Go back and record a video explaining what you did and build something with that new set of that new concept, that revelation that you just got. You know, build some animation, build some cool little like HTML, CSS animation, build some JavaScript flip thing or something like that, and go back and explain it. Okay, talk about cool things that you're doing, because 9 times out of 10, to maybe a more advanced software developer programmer, that may look like child's play, but there's not a lot of people still out there that have super JavaScript skills. I'm one of them. I still don't have JavaScript skills. So if you're able to document and learn JavaScript at a more intermediate way, beginner intermediate way, and you're able to create not only just a snake game, but maybe a snake game that leaves the screen and again goes extended screen or something like that, and can eat all different types of things. If you could take it to the next level, document that and explain how did you build that, because it's all going to be foreign language anyway to whoever's watching the video. So yes, to Joe Santos, those projects are silly and everything else. You don't need to show those projects to an employer, but you can record that through some sort of screen recording software like I just showed you. Put that bad boy on YouTube, and you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone. While you're in this process of searching for a job, going through the whole employment track, all right, I'm teaching you the binary way of doing this. Not only are you actually applying for work, but you're also building a reputation where you have those employers actually coming to you, or you're building an audience, you're building a fan base. So you'll reach an actual inflection point to where you can actually sit up here and decide, oh, I don't have to sit up here and try to apply for work anymore. I got this massive audience now just off of my JavaScript tutorials, and I don't even need to get a job anymore. I can start selling affiliate links and offer products or build a book or something like that, because I got the audience now. You want to give yourself options. That's why that's why I preach the whole documentation part, using a YouTube channel in order to showcase what you're doing. All right, I promise you, I don't even know how many JavaScript YouTube channels are out there. I don't really have time to look right now because I want to get through this video, but take the time to research, see if there's any JavaScript YouTube channels out there. Screw it. You know what? Let's do it. JavaScript YouTube channels. JavaScript YouTube channels. These day in the life videos, man, just pop up there. They're not really showing anything. So we got Stefan Mashuk, who doesn't really show any JavaScript. Most of these are just talking heads videos anyway. How much JavaScript do you need to know in 2023? And what is JavaScript? What's the fastest way to learn JavaScript? And it's JavaScript course. No, man, like screw the talking head videos. All right, that's all that these videos are. They actually talk about JavaScript, but nobody's doing any JavaScript. So you put yourself in a very keen position to actually take your JavaScript code that you're learning off of one of these little courses here. All right. Take super simple devs course or whatever, learn some basic JavaScript, get you a book or whatnot, and build something cool and document it and explain it and talk about it. And it'll actually give you an opportunity to be able to sharpen your teaching skills. And when you learn something, you're able to take what you learn and being able to teach it, you're actually reteaching yourself in terms of how to actually articulate and talk about it. All right. It's the same way with reading and writing. Okay. The more that you're able to write, the more that you write out your thoughts, the more that you're able to think clearly, the more that you're able to communicate clearly and resets back, because it's this feedback loop that's going on. It's the same thing when you're doing with JavaScript. I mean, when you're doing with the whole web design and everything else. You're learning things, you're implementing, you're actually doing projects, and then you go back and you try to teach it. You'll be able to say oh, I can see how I did that, but I don't really know how to explain it. I need to figure out how to explain this better so I can simplify it and put it in plain English to the average person out there. So that's what you need to do, man. That's why I keep harking on the documenting your process. So projects are necessary to help you gain experience and sharpen your skills. A lot of times people don't have time to review your portfolio. Okay. That's just the bottom line to it. People don't have time to review your portfolio. Most companies don't want to see your portfolio, but rather you produce something on the spot in real time or assessment format. When you go for most of these interviews at a lot of companies, they're going to want to see you be able to produce something right there. You're going to be in an interview and you're going to have some coding assessment or they're going to give you some sort of like problem to solve, and they want to be able to see you take what you've learned in your time's experience and how advanced you really are. So it's really not about showing projects and portfolios to a company to show what you've done, but you have to be able to show like, okay, you did this in the past, but can you replicate it again on the spot? What is your thinking process? If you need to Google something, how are you Googling it? How fast are you getting the answer to these questions? That's what the companies are going to want to know. All right. How are you able to process and think about these problems and produce something in real time in order to solve this? This website right here is broken. This link right here won't work, or this button isn't clicking and going to the next thing. What do we need to do? What is your process? For me, I'll go up here and I'll click on these three dots, go to developer tools to see what type of HTML code is being written back there. I'll start getting on Stack Overflow and start looking for questions to see, what's happening. That may actually be the first thing that I do, but usually I'll open up, look under the hood to see what's going on. If it's some sort of broken link or why the button isn't working, or I need to move it centered, if I'm being asked a CSS question, I would show them my process in these interviews. So they want to be able to see that you're able to take your experience and bring it to the forefront when it comes to these interviews, just to see how well you are able to synthesize all this abstract information and to bring it into a concrete answer right there in front of them and to the interviewers. Now, I volunteer, and I've said this earlier, I volunteer to show people my resume and they still don't care to see it. And just building a public reputation, which I also talked about just in the process of talking about all these other things in the video. Guys, the last thing I want to say, because I'm already at 21 minutes in this video. I thought this was going to be quick, but I guess I had a lot more to say than I thought. But look, some of y'all just want to be web developers. You just want to go code in a corner. You don't want to deal with people. You just want to put something out on the internet. You want the internet to act as this human for you, this surrogate, so you can just put it out there and hopefully Google will do its power, do its thing, and just have all these people flooding to my website to see how great I am. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Soft skills are still needed in this sector. Why do you think John Samez, who had Simple Program, now he's Bulldog Mindset now, but why do you think he even wrote a book titled Soft Skills? Why does that book even exist? Because soft skills are super important if you want to have a good career, a long-lasting career as a web designer and developer, because you understanding how you're doing your processes and being able to produce what you're able to produce, it's super important, and just actually producing the thing itself. That may not make sense to a lot of y'all, but trust me, that just me being able to do alone and being able to talk through and not only just produce it, but being able to understand and know what I'm talking about and being able to say it back shows that I'm not some sort of imposter, but I have my own processes to this. So get this out of your head that you're just going to be a coder and that's all you're going to do is just code and nobody's going to bother you. It's just me and my own. I don't deal with people. I'm an introvert. I hate people. That's why I got to be into a web developer. Unless you're trying to build, unless you're trying to just spend 3 years like this guy did. I think his name was Ivan. I would encourage you this. You know what? I'm just going to leave this video like this, but this is Photop. This is the online Photoshop clone. All right. But if you type in photop.com founder Reddit, all right, you look for that. Photop.com founder Reddit. In 2018, he made an AMA, Ask Me Anything, on Reddit. And I would encourage you to go ahead and check out this Reddit feed, this thread, to get his experience, because he spent 7,000 hours of work, 5 hours a day during 3.5 years building this website. So if you're trying to be that person who is only building websites or building applications, all right, and just not wanting to talk to people, don't look for a job. Stop looking for employment. Focus on a single application. Do some user research to see who needs to use this application or online software or whatever. Validate it some kind of way. Get with somebody who's good with people, and you can just focus on actually just building the application if you want to be that person. All right. Don't look for a job. Just treat this as some sort of business that you're building a really good product that's going to serve somebody and it's going to make you a ton of money. That is it. That's all I got for you. That is your portfolio piece. But in the end, you need to just start doing your Googles. You need to start just doing your research when it comes to building a portfolio and seeing who needs to look at your stuff. And just remember that what you learn from your project and actually going through the process of building a portfolio is going to be more important than the portfolio itself. And that's all I got to say about this right now. If you want to actually learn more about some other things, I can't remember what I talked about in this video. I'm just gonna put a video right over here. Right, I'm gonna put a video right over here that I'm gonna need you to check out. That's going to give you even more insight in terms of the things that I talked about earlier. And I will see y'all in the next one.